Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. My name is Random Hamilton, and I will be your resident artist today. It is a Tuesday morning, beautiful Tuesday morning. Well, not so much in Oregon, it's full of rain, but you know, what are you going to do? I'm going to grab my hat here. For those new to the stream, I am a stay-at-home dad, artist, creative streamer. What that means is we'll be working on a range of different things art-related. We will be focusing our attention specifically today on a new project. This is going to be the start of us kicking off into the full development of what I'm hoping will be a very long-term opportunity for us to evolve into more of a brand. So I'm going to be starting off. We have this project that me and my wife have started laying out, putting together. And the idea being is we're going to start at art, we're going to move into sculpting and creating these characters. Well, first we're going to go for the illustrations, and we're going to go into digital painting. And eventually, I'll be sculpting these on stream with ZBrush. Then we'll be going through the process of getting these 3D printed, and hopefully before too long we will see these as vinyl toys that you can easily get yourself. So I'm just checking on some responses. Okay. So welcome to the stream. So today we're going to go ahead, we just finished this piece yesterday. I just posted it up on social media. I'm actually just digging through and making sure that all my posts make sense. I always find that it's really frustrating to put your post up and realize you've done it wrong, and then it just kind of has the wrong feel, you know. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to adjust and fix all of this. Why is it not showing my piece of art? That's what I want to know. Wow. So the piece is just too heavy is what's going on here. Alright. So we are going to kick off a new project. Let's talk about this. We've got to the point now where I think I've had the chance to explore, you know, my art style in a couple of fun and unique projects, and that's always really fun. But at a certain point, I think that kind of long form kind of art may be a little bit hard to just sit and kind of chunk through for a lot of time. It just takes a lot of time. For a lot of people, it's just too much. And that's not to say I won't do it, but I'm thinking that I need to create a little bit more variety and a little bit more of a process of a pipeline. So maybe certain days I do a certain style of art, or I do a certain content. Today what we're going to explore is we're going to go ahead and explore some character design. Specifically character design around a project that me and my wife have kind of pulled together that is something that we think could have some real long-standing opportunities for us to develop. I'm going to just mostly be working primarily in marker and pencil today, and pen. And the reason for that is because when I'm doing illustration for creating creatures, you know, there's really a lot of different ways we can go about it, right? We can go with more of a silhouette style of communicating visuals. So it can be something more akin to like creating just a silhouette. And then once I'm happy with the silhouette, I can go ahead and start bringing in some details on what those creatures will be, right? It looks like nothing, but we then come in and we start thinking about like, okay, well, how does this creature, you know, what is the way that the shape kind of defines the creature itself, right? And I mean, this is just a really loose doodle. I'm not trying to create some masterpiece here. I'm just trying to explore forms. But in the process of exploring those forms, that's where we're really going to start crafting and creating like that custom visual artwork. Because what I'm also doing is I'm going to have to define a new style. And that may not seem like a big deal, and it's really not hard per se, but it's something that you have to really kind of take into account and plan for. So let's put some music on. We're going to do a little bit of reference. Maybe I'll keep my reference board until I fully make it. But let's go ahead and just put some music going here. And I'm going to go ahead and set the mood to chill. And there we go. Hey, there we go. I'm feeling that. All right. Can you hear the music okay? Hopefully if you're on right now, you can hear the music okay. I'm not too loud. The music's not too loud. I'm going to turn the heater off underneath just to make sure I'm not picking up any ambient sound. It's always a little unfortunate when that happens, right? Let's see, background noise suppression. Can I do that? Where can I do that? Okay, so starting off, let me kind of give you a rundown of where this idea started at. Maybe that's a little too loud. Alright. This idea started over the course of the beginning of last week and kind of drug through as my wife and I talked about it. And one of the challenges I have on this stream, and I'm going to have them in general as an artist, is that as an artist I tend not to really plan out my artwork. I tend to just put it on paper, put the pencil to pen, and just start working, and whatever comes of it, comes of it. And what's really started to occur, especially now that I'm streaming, is I'm having to start thinking about things in a little more holistic manner. I need to start considering how does my time on the artwork as I produce different pieces, what are those for, right? Am I just doing art for art's sake? Am I doing it to sell prints? Like, what am I trying to utilize, and what am I trying to get what am I trying to do with this? And I think that right now I am attempting to figure out something that can have a little more of a long-term and long-lasting presence. And that can mean a lot, right? That can mean I'm creating stories and OC characters. That can mean I am, I don't know, trying to make a custom story that has some really some great story hooks. Whether I wanted to go into children's books or whether I wanted to go into something broadening the scope out. This revolves around walks with my son, right? Because we do it every day. My son's 2.5, and one of the things I've really started, I've recently really become just a fan of being a stay-at-home dad. It's awesome. It's just the coolest experience ever. And one of the things I'm really trying to do is I'm trying to explore that as content and share that. Because to me, that seems like where I want to spend the majority of my time and effort is on this opportunity I've had to be a dad and be home with my son. And what's cool is this lets me go more into my kind of animation kind of history and background. Now, I'm not an animator. Let me just clarify that. But I do have a history of working through animation and becoming more and using animation techniques in my illustration. Now, the stuff you've seen on my Instagram, if you've been following me, you notice I go a little heavier and a little darker often. And that's just because that's the style of pen. That's just kind of how I like to do it. But in this case, we're starting to build something a little more based on a kind of a cartoonish aesthetic. Not so much fully cartoon, because these are things that I'm eventually going to be making into vinyl toys. That, I need to consider from the very beginning of the design, how is this going to turn into a vinyl toy at the end? Now, there's a lot of steps between then and here, right? We're gonna go illustration first. That's what we'll be starting today. So today is going to be mostly character creation. It's going to move into illustration for the week. We'll pick one of the pieces, two of the pieces, and we'll draw them out. From there, I'll do digital paintings of them in Photoshop. And once the digital paintings are done, and let's get like maybe 10 of these in this series done of digital paintings, and we can post them up on Instagram and kind of have the whole collection. Then I'm going to go ahead and delve into sculpting them on the string. And we're going to go and make them in ZBrush. I'm going to sculpt them in 3D. And then when we have the master sculpts, we can look at what does it take to get those produced. Are we doing 3D mold? Or, just a lot of opportunities there to explore that. So to start off, let's go to a fresh page. And the first thing I'm going to do is let me give you an example of what I'm looking at here. So in this case, this is my son and I on walks. I will never draw myself as myself. I'll usually have myself with a different imaginary friend. That's kind of the idea behind the story, is we always show him kind of having these toddler, amazing, interesting moments in the world. But me, I will essentially serve the role as the imaginary friend, which means in every one of these, I'll be kind of a different creature. In this one, this is us walking down through our path, and he likes to knock on all the lights. So this is him knocking on all the lights, and I'm kind of counting where the next one's at. This one, we are sitting on the dock that's not too far away from us. We walk down there every single day, and we stand up there on the dock and throw pine cones off. One day he got a little excited and threw his own ball off, so we're kind of watching the ball float away. In this one, I'm walking up behind him, taking pictures of him with my phone so I can send them to my wife who's at work while he's kicking his ball over a hill. In this one, I'm teaching him to sit down and hold his hand out so that a doggy can lick his hand, so that we meet doggies in the right way. And that's really going to be the pace of the approach here. So now we need to start exploring. I'm gonna just start with a fun place, right? I want to start around these imaginary friends, and since it's me, that makes it really easy. So anytime I'm going to start an illustration, especially around character design, I put a ball down, right? That ball does not necessarily serve as a key element. That ball is not super important, like the eyes have to go here, but they can, right? But the ball allows me to decide where I want to go. Do I want to go vertical? Do I want to go horizontal? Like, the ball is kind of like my center point, my pivot, and then I build from that. So in this case, I could be looking at reference right now, but that's not important. I'm just trying to explore. I'm trying to play and just bring these kind of ideas to life in a really holistic and safe and in a really fun way. There's no reason to burden myself down with getting overly attached or overly kind of set on one specific path. So I'm just going to kind of doodle here. Sorry, I'm kind of juggling a few things in front of me. Making sure that my piece is... Oh, I see what's going on there. I see what's been happening. I made a post earlier on Reddit, and it has been not working properly, and I could not figure out what in the world is going on. And when I posted it, it's just acting super weird. Well, the problem is that I did something weird in the posting and it kind of messed it all up. So whatever. So let's see here. All right. So we've come up, and I'm going to go ahead and start with just creating something that's a little wide head. I'm going to think like a hammerhead. So I'm going to go and bring something maybe out here. Let's switch sides. These are old markers, and that's not that big of a deal. I'm just kind of using it to kind of rough shapes in. I need to throw them away though, or I need to refill them. They're Copics, so they can be refilled. So throwing away is a no-no if you can actually refill your stuff. Let's go ahead and get, there we go. There we go. Alright, Colin's got like a little Teletubby-esque with the little, the little accoutrements. This is just on the side of the head. I think I want to do something that's maybe a little, furry, right? So let's do, what if the mouth was down here? Oh, that's fun. Now keep in mind, when we're designing like this, we're not designing as oh, this is what it has to be like, right? We're just putting pen to paper and just pushing, right? A little bit of marker here and there. We're not being too committal. We're just not stressing. I kind of like the idea of these little tiny eyes. That's really fun. And then because of that, it lets me do something where I can do a really prominent kind of structural nasal area. And maybe we have the nose way down here. Think more of like a dog or cat nose. Could be fun. So that there's a bit of a snoot. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how we expand this into actually putting a little pen to it. Now again, you'll notice I'm not even really worrying about if the body, if the lines are closed, what the definition is. All I'm really doing right now is I'm kind of ingesting a little, just a little bit of character, a little bit of texture, right? I'm not, there's no reason to try to force this to be something more than it is. It's just a loose, fun sketch. And if you keep it like that, if you allow yourself to just play and just push some art around, you'd be amazed at the stuff that kind of comes out of your sketchbook. I had no preconception about what this character was, right? And that's okay. That's kind of the point. You're allowing the art to take you through its design process. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab a pen. And I am going, I'm going to do something even better. I'm going to use a pen that I'm deathly afraid of using all the time on pieces that are finished. But on this kind of stuff, it's great because I can go from a thin to a thick line very easily. Thin, thick, thin, thin, thick, thin. There's lots of variation here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to start laying in some of these details. Let's see what kind of comes of this character as we just pull a little bit more refined and intentional detail. We're going to use this to really highlight the areas that are black, because why not? And the thing I would really suggest, if you're an artist or you're a creative, even if you don't ever touch a pencil or pen, but you're a creative, what allows your creativity to really do what you need it to do to go on display, to give you all the range for you to execute in whatever you're trying to execute on, is giving yourself the room to just try stuff that has no plan to it. And what I mean by that is, we always get caught up on the way we're supposed to do something, right? Oh, I know this technique works. Oh, I know this is how this is supposed to function. Oh, I know how this is how I always do it, so I should do it this way. But you have to understand that every time you kind of line yourself up to a very, very specific method of doing something, you're essentially giving yourself really tight restrictions, and you may not even realize it. Every time that you establish a new expectation for yourself that you have to do something in a very specific method, A, you're the only one doing that for yourself, but B, you're essentially taking away opportunities that you have available to you. Now, that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes you just don't want to, you know exactly what you want to execute, and you can get there just by following your patterns, and that's okay. But understand that when you do that, you essentially take away the opportunity to go beyond your normal. If you're into anime and you watch My Hero Academia, it's called Plus Ultra, right? Exerting yourself beyond your normal capabilities, right? If you're weightlifting, this is what happens when you bench the next amount up. If you're drawing or you're painting, this is what happens when you introduce that new color, or you introduce a new brush type, or you introduce a new technique, and you push past all the bullshit you're dealing with and all the ideas that you're kind of stuck in your head. If you can push past that, man, you can do some magical stuff. But it really requires you to just trust your gut. I'm not loving how this pen's working right now, not because I think it's doing anything wrong, but I don't. Where did the freaking cap go? I have no idea where the cap went. 1 second, please. I'm not loving how it's coming to life, right? And that's okay. We're just playing. 1 second. I gotta find this bloody cap so I don't try this pen out. There we go. Okay. All right. We're gonna change up a little bit. We're gonna change to my new favorite pencil I got this weekend. Look at this chunky boy. This is the chunkiest pencil I've ever had in my entire life, and I absolutely love it. It is just straight up like an HB graphite pencil, but it's in a lead holder, which is more akin to something you see on when you're doing like, you'll see them on construction sites and stuff. They need a thick-ass pencil that's going to stand the test of time. We're going to use it here because I think that, yeah, that's better. I just don't think that I was able to quite get the detail and the storytelling I wanted to get from my great ink pen there. So this is just going to be a way for us to really quickly add some toning and shading. I'm going to go ahead and so this is more of a hairy beast. Hey, Bubba, what's up? Is it not working? Hey guys, I'll be right back. Daddy time. 1 second, please. and back. You know, it's the whole dad thing, working from home. So, you know, sometimes you gotta just go and take care of some dad business. How it works. Okay, so, you know, I think that there's something really interesting about this character, but I'm not feeling him continually yet, so let's move on. This is the process, by the way, guys. Do not feel that every single piece, especially when we're working at this level, to just go ahead and develop really quick characterization. Don't feel hedged in, right? We have we're just doing loose pencils, a little bit of marker. We're keeping it super light. We're keeping it super just fun. This is a great place, by the way, when you start with these circles. If you weren't here for the first part, I'll usually lay down a circle. It's kind of like my foundational kind of anchor, and then I'll build up from there. And what I'm doing is I'm creating kind of monster heads right now that are for an upcoming project that I'm going to be working on the stream with my son and I. I'm going to go ahead and start. Something I like to do is I like to define what is the general shape of the head, right? So if that means like a line for a really tall head, or perhaps like a curve, or perhaps something that's a little more asymmetrical, that could be kind of fun. Sometimes I'll do something with like an X, right? And then last but not least, let's do something that maybe kind of has like going up. Now keep in mind, you know, when you're creating creatures, and when you're doing concept sketches for just like monsters or whatever the case is, give yourself the room to draw on the reference you have, but don't get bogged down in trying to pull reference before you even start sketching, right? There's nothing wrong with that approach, but essentially what you're doing is you're kind of handicapping yourself from letting your brain pull those ideas out and then find the reference to then accommodate those ideas. What I mean by that is that it's very easy. Let's go Sharpie. It's very easy to get yourself kind of stuck into this path where every time you want to start a new project, you have to dig right into going into your reference first. And there's nothing wrong with that, but what that does is you start having your ideas become defined for you by the images you find. And that's not always the way to get to the path you wanted to get to. Okay, this is kind of fun, little elephant kind of character. You'll notice I'm staying super, super thick. I'm intentionally not trying to make some masterpiece. I'm just getting some shapes and some forms, some things in here that I think can be really interesting. We got kind of a little aardvark business going on here. And often this is where I'll decide, you know, have I seen this character before? Is this something that's kind of interesting? Maybe he's got like some little hands on the nose. It's kind of cool. Little extra appendages. Let's see. I don't know if I'm feeling the Sharpie right now either. And this is also part of the process, guys. Dig through your pens. Sometimes they are hitting. Sometimes they are not. Oh, this is going to be a great... Okay, let's go multiple eyes. I'm not afraid of spiders, but I don't like spiders, so let's not go spiders quite. But we're just going to build. All we're doing is we're building some structure, right? Let's build maybe some little shape here. Maybe this guy's got more of like a hippopotamus nose. Could be kind of cool. One thing I like to do is if I'm going to pull animal reference, or if I'm going to lean into an aesthetic that I know is from a real life animal, I'll try to do something of equal and opposite response, right? So if I'm going to go with this big old hippo mouth here, I'm going to offset it by putting some kind of further structure up top. And maybe this is where the ears come off, right? Ah, that's kind of interesting. Okay. And again, all we're doing right now, guys, is we're just developing and playing and allowing the piece to kind of come to life on the paper. There's no reason to try to force a design to come through. This is where sketch and exploration are at their finest. For those who are joining me, welcome to my stream. My name is Brandon Hamilton. I am an illustrator, artist, stay-at-home dad, and streamer. About 4 weeks, we're in week 3 of streaming, so I'm glad to have you here. A like, a follow, suggestions and ideas, everything's welcome, guys. I am building and developing this channel as something that will be more of a community, and anybody who's here and would like to be involved in that, please throw your voice in. Any feedback, any ideas, or just suggestions on artwork or creatures is very welcome. We're just doodling today. Today's low-key. We're going to doodle for a couple hours. From this, the afternoon stream, we'll start picking some of the doodles we did today and see if those creatures kind of come to life. And we'll just kind of see where we go. I'm super excited to have you here, and I just can't wait to just move on to the next project. The last couple of weeks have been so amazing. I cannot tell you from an artist point of view, from a position of being having stopped art for a long time and come back recently. It's been a dream. And I just want to keep on going with it and see where it takes us. And I so appreciate that you're here with me to participate in that. I just had this idea while I was sitting here drawing, and I was like, what if I did something that's a little more like bird beaky? Maybe something that it's almost like the mouth goes way down, and then like the neck can be kind of thin, almost like a turkey. Could be kind of fun. Let's see. I actually flipped up a picture of a turkey on my Pinterest here. For this kind of art, you will not see me doing scary artwork. You okay, buddy? Yeah. Okay, good. This is all stuff that's going to be about me and my son, so it's super fun, right? So we're going to keep it light. We're going to keep it not edgy. There will definitely be times for more of my. Let's go with a harder pen. There will absolutely be times for more of my really darker, edgier work, and that's just not going to be this series of art. So I hope you don't mind. I hope that if you do like the Instagram stuff I've been posting, and that's why you're here, please by all means, we'll assign days where we do that kind of work, and that way you can go ahead and just pop by on those days. But again, like I said, this is all so new, and so a lot of it is just us figuring out exactly what we want to do going forward. And your suggestions and your feedback are going to be pivotal in me figuring out and deciding how best to approach this kind of stuff. This is kind of fun. We've got a beat that goes way down. We've got this kind of understructure here. There could be some extra little details. I could do something where I can do I like that. Maybe he's got a dinosaur spine business going on. Not so much a beak, but definitely the shaping of a beak. That's kind of fun and interesting. Let's see, what else we got here? What other animals are driving my fancy? That's what I always try to do is, I always try to find, what I used to do is I'll put in Animal Kingdom and Pinterest, right? It's a really great way to not force yourself down to a specific path, but just to start seeing inspiration and allowing that inspiration to really start defining and creating new pathways. I got an idea. This actually could be really fun. I actually really always like drawing really fat creatures and characters. It's just something I've always done. What's up, buddy? What's up, monkey? Oh, hey. Oh. Did you hurt your hand? You want to show me? What did you hurt your hand? Oh. What about the other one? What about the other one? Oh, let's see it. Okay. Go get your iPad. Go get it. Alright. Sorry about that. Okay. So, we're going to keep clicking on this. Keep developing, keep building. It's kind of hot. Let me turn this heater off. I'll be right back, guys. I'm just going to turn the heater down. You're fine, buddy. You're fine. We're hanging out, right? Daddy's in the stream for an hour. Okay. Okay, so I'll be just one moment. I'm going to get the kids set up real quick. 1 second. Checker, you can absolutely, in fact, Checker, if you'd like, if you contact me on Instagram or Facebook, shoot me just like a link to you, and I'll send you the full resolution. The Tom and I is not a very good print quality on the website. I would more than happy send you full resolution of that image, and that way you can get a good print out of it, okay? So just make sure to give me some kind of way to send it to you. Or, if you'd like, I can upload a full resolution, and I'll post a Gumroad so you can download it, all right? Yeah. Guys, if there's any art that I have that you're interested in, and you would like a copy of a high resolution, just shoot me a line. Just shoot me a message. I'll make sure you get a high resolution of it so you can get the best quality out of it. Because that, to me, I'm not really interested in selling my art to make a profit. I mean, if somebody wants to donate, if you on the Gumroad, you're more than welcome to offer a donation or an auction price. But please don't feel obligated. The artwork is not the point. The stream and the environment are the point, and that's what I want to keep developing. So here, back to what I was drawing here. Sorry about the delay. Okay, I'm thinking something. Let's see. You'll notice that I'm popping between pencils and pens, right? I'm kind of popping around and changing the different methods I'm using, and that's actually by intent. Because what I find, and this is just kind of in general for myself as an artist, if I stick to one pencil or pen too much, I find that often what that will do is that will result in me getting myself into a trap where I start just doing the same thing over and over again. It's a small thing, but man, I kind of lose my mojo a little bit. And that's always one of those things where you just kind of have to know, where your pitfalls are as an artist or a designer so you can avoid them. So like in this case, right? There's nothing about this is about making the perfect thing the first time. But 1 second, I think my son locked himself in his room. Hey Bob, do you need out? Okay, here I come. Be right back, guys. There we go. Let's not close it, okay? Good job. Okay, but I'm still streaming, okay? Alright, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Hey, there you go. Dude, Checker, don't even worry about it. You don't need to watermark it. I totally appreciate that. But man, that's not what it's about. If you would like a full resolution print, 100%, I'll send it to you, but you can use my artwork, don't worry about it. I mean, as long as you don't put your name on it, I'm cool. You don't need to watermark it. I don't feel that that's a necessary step for you. So, let me turn the music down just a little bit. I think we might be a little bit intense. All right, there we go. Okay, so let's keep pushing. So this is just kind of the process, right? We're just drawing creatures. We're kind of seeing where they go. Add a few indents here, add a few depths here. This is not about us solving these creatures in full. This is just about us creating this kind of world, right? This guy's almost a little more alien, and I'm okay with that, right? Imaginary friends. Imaginary friends can be anything. And I'm just kind of thinking about how I love the idea of almost like a mane, like a lion mane or something. And then these are more like face tentacles. So he'll have these like face tentacles kind of come up, some details there. Think about when this character moves, so they shake their head, those like dangly balls kind of like dangle back and forth. That's really fun. The idea of like these characters that can have some real... Oh, that's fun. Because at the end of the day, these are all going to kind of be me as the imaginary friend. So how would this character's body look? I think the head would be kind of small. Here's our hangy balls. Maybe we've got kind of like a really grimace kind of body. Like sloth kind of arms can be really fun. That's a fun shape, right? Look at that little guy. Yeah, there we go. A big old tummy, like that. You know, I mean, I don't have that big of a tummy, but I got a tummy. So my imaginary character's gonna have a tummy. That's cool. You know, and this is just one of those things where it really behooves you, and it really is a benefit to you as a creative. It does. I'm not talking to just the drawing artists here. I'm talking to if you are a creative in any format. I encourage you to try doing something in a format that is not the best way, because the techniques that you know, all the little shortcuts that you already understand, those things will kick in, even if you're doing something totally wrong. It's just not that big of a deal to take one stab at a piece in a very inefficient way, understanding that all of your best practices will come to the front. Those don't turn off. Bob, you need let out? All right, please stop blocking your gate, buddy. Be right back, guys. If you close it again, I'm not letting you out. Okay? Don't close it again. I'm not letting you out if you close it, buddy. Alright, sorry about that, guys. So, again, this is really just loose sketch time, right? We're not worrying about the details. I'm getting into general forms. If I have a creature like this one that I feel like is resolving somewhere, I'll go ahead and throw some pen on it, just so I can kind of make sure to give myself some really solid basis to work off of later. On the afternoon stream, we're going to take these characters and we're going to develop them. Some of them will make it through, a lot of them will not, and all we're going to do is we're going to try to find the ones that have the most personality to serve as a foundation for this collection of pieces that I'll be doing that will eventually turn into vinyl toys and paintings that illustrate the story of mine and my son's daily walk. So we're just going to kind of throw in some loose line work. I apologize if you don't have the best visual contrast on the screen because of my camera. My setup is a little bit janky. And I understand it's not the best thing to look at from your perspective, but I hope that as you are on the stream with me and as you get used to seeing the way we develop, you'll know that this is only a kind of a temporary place we're at. Now, one thing I really like to do, right? If I get to the point where I'm like, yeah, this is working for me and I'm really happy with this, that's when I'll come in with my grayscale marker. And the grayscale marker is not to make super detail or anything like that. The grayscale marker is genuinely only to create some depth. And so this is where the magic comes in, right? We're going to go with a gray. I like my Faber-Castells because they're thick boys and they're full of ink and they don't run out too quickly. And we just start pulling. Thanks, Jack. Yeah, or thanks. Yeah. Donna, welcome to the stream. Alright, so this is the way we do it. Don't worry about trying to go for perfection. This is just a loose sketch. But what I'm doing is I'm starting to kind of give a little bit of understanding about the way that light works on this guy's skin. I'm giving myself a roadmap for later. Because this is, of course, not going to be the final version of this character. This is only going to be, one step in a long process of this character's kind of journey. If he goes to fruition. I think it's pretty fun. I think it may be a little too serious for what I'm going for, and that can happen too. And anything that you create in this method, you can always take it more childish. We can make him bright green, we can go ahead and make him a lot softer, but to see where he started off, to understand the nooks and the crannies and the divots and the details, it's not a bad place to be, right? Let's go ahead and put some little pock marking and some dot. I think that's pretty fun. There we go. So we've got our first kind of character we fully explored, and I think it's kind of interesting. Let's go back to the sketches that I did, the little thumbnail sketches that I did, and I was talking about this earlier. These thumbnail sketches are my favorite way to work because you can stay super loose. You can stay super tight. Let's draw this guy out because I think this guy might have something really special to him. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put my circle down. Very important part of this process. I'll draw this guy a little bit smaller. Let's go ahead and grab my chunky boy pencil. I'm going to make my general shape. This guy is, almost think of this guy like a little more like Monsters, Inc. nose is up here. Think of almost like a Wookiee, kind of, if you can picture that. But I like to do like, especially for like this fun stuff, I'm gonna do something that's a little more, obviously not a Wookiee, but definitely in that vein. So I really like to have more of like a short snout. Looks like the mouth. I'm gonna go ahead and do something that's a little more akin to my style. Something a little more cartoony and round. And then we're gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna go and start laying down some fur. Now keep in mind, if you have a pet, then you've probably looked at your pet before and you've seen the way their hair lays. If you do not have a pet or you've never had a pet, the way that hair lays down, then I'll show you the layout when I feel better. Okay, hey, no problem. That sounds great, Jector. You do you, buddy. I feel perfectly comfortable. Let's see. Do you mind critiques? Huh? Not at all. All right. Let's see. Let's keep pushing on this. Kind of like where this guy's going. It's pretty fun. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep pushing and creating. Maybe this guy's got like more of like a peaked head. It's pretty fun. And then I'm thinking some horns. But I don't want to do like hard horns. I want to do almost like roundish, like reindeer horns. That's pretty fun. Yeah, that's feeling good. And then I think one of the really defining characteristics I want to do is I want to do these black, kind of like almost like raccoon rings. Yeah, I'm feeling that. That's cool. Okay. And we did the horns, but let's do some ears. And we're going to have the ears be a little lower. So normally your ears would kind of align to your eye line. Even with animals, the ears kind of stay. So I want an autograph on my sleeve. Hey, you know what, Jector? I'm more than happy to give you a signature. You'll notice, I don't really sign my artwork. It's never been really an important element of what I do. But I will gladly give you a stamp or a signature if you'd like, and you can add it all your own, for sure. Okay, so we got this guy. I'm gonna give him some cheekbone. Maybe he'll have like big old thick eyebrows. Ooh, that's fun. Okay, all right, we're going somewhere with this. All right, so let's go ahead and get the pen out. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and just start edging in some of these chunky, thick fur bits. Give him a big old brow. Here's where the horn kind of connects in. So the horn kind of pops in here. Got that whole reindeer thing going on. I'm going to almost make them like bulbous. Think Cat in the Hat, where often the shapes kind of end with like a circular kind of dome on top. It's a very common thing in the art style for Cat in the Hat, by the way. If you've never noticed it, go back and look at the fingers and toes on Cat in the Hat, and then look at the noses. Everything ends in some sort of ball shape or form. So let's talk about inspiration, guys. When you draw upon inspiration, and you're drawing on an idea, and I'm not talking about just drawing, I'm talking about when you lean into something you need to kind of help define an idea. Do you go to your favorite things you always grab from, or do you go to things that maybe you've never really thought of before? And the reason I ask that is because I actually think that's a really important step for a lot of artists, to try and draw inspiration from sources that are not familiar to them. I think I've talked before, I've got a few friends that are like in dance, and I have, on many occasions, gotten exceptional inspiration from just seeing a dancer express an idea. It's a very beautiful thing if you can kind of draw some ideas from the way that they're kind of communicating a story. Because at the end of the day, if you're a creative, you're telling a story. That's kind of what you're doing. You're a visual storyteller. We may not always think of ourselves like that, but that truly is, the craft. And so however you choose to tell that story, whatever that story is, that there's always room to improve your process and technique. And if you can go and draw inspiration from unexpected sources, the work that you output will then also be kind of unexpected. It will allow you to push your general process. Hey, Bubba. Yeah, Daddy's drawing. See? See the creature right there? Yeah. Yes, sir. You want to say hi? Okay, come on up. Hi. So a big part of what I'm doing here is so I can be home with this guy. That's why we're doing this. Yeah. Good job. All right. We've got two characters I think they're kind of interesting. We're just looking for loose, quick explorations, right? So let's move on. If you're ever feeling like you need to be set to a schedule, that's okay. But just understand that when you do that, you're creating kind of an artificial limitation on yourself right away, which can be good, right? Some artists thrive. Well, maybe let's do a dinosaur. Let's do a dinosaur. How do I want to do a dinosaur? Let's see. Let's go with our head. That's kind of nice. Let's get the snoot. Yeah, Bubba. It's almost Tyrannosaurus at the moment. But let's do something maybe a little less threatening. Let's do like a big undergoidal. Now, instead of doing a straight up dinosaur, how do I change this? How do I make him, maybe it's a dinosaur cyclops. I don't know if I'm feeling that. Let's see. Let's get the pencil and let's just start pushing. So we have our nose, Yeah. Big old jaw, bottom jaw here. Now, this may not make a lot of sense, and that's okay. We'll get to that. We'll get to the point where this kind of comes together. We're just really laying down loose shapes, loose forms. We're not trying to solve anything here. We're just playing, right? This isn't the most satisfying point in a lot of art because it's like wait and see what's going to happen, where it's going to go. But, you know, this is kind of an essential step in creating and developing characters. I have one here. I think you'll start a Facebook account right to that. That sounds great. Chector, that sounds amazing. Please do that. Any crazy ideas, any ideas that are just off the wall, man, that's my bread and butter. So if you think of something, even if it's kind of out there, even if you don't have it fully resolved, send it my way because I would love to develop ideas like that. That's my favorite way to operate. Okay. This is too dinosaur right now, okay? This is just, it's not quite going the direction that I was hoping. But I don't want to abandon it. So let's mix something here. If I wanted to mix a dinosaur with something, perhaps I put the head up here, and then this whole thing is more like, okay, like a camel hump for the back of the head. Alright, see, we're getting somewhere here. See, now all of a sudden, we've developed something. Okay, so we have this. Let's go ahead and put the curve for the front of the face. Maybe the eyes are over here and really big. For those of you familiar with Star Wars, this may not be too far off of the racer that races in the pod races, or perhaps a little bit of a Mon Calamari. But that's why we do this. We explore these things because we just don't know where they're going to go. We don't know what's going to come of these kind of characters and shapes. And so I'm going to go ahead and just keep pushing. All right, I think this is interesting where we're at now. So let's go ahead and start with a couple of eyes. I'm going to do the eyes a little smaller. Okay, that feels pretty good. I'm going to grab one of my other pens. Let's do this with a different pen. Let's do this with a brush pen. So, let's see. Oh yeah, the Cyclops idea would be interesting. I think I might have to do the Cyclops as like its own creature because I really like the idea of the Cyclops. That appeals to me. Okay, let's go ahead and now keep in mind, guys, my natural instinct is to go towards a little more realism, and I'm going to have to work really hard to pull realism down and actually focus a little more on cartooning. And that's just because that doesn't necessarily come naturally to me, but that doesn't necessarily mean I can't do that. It just means I've got to work a little harder. Maybe his tongue's too big for his mouth. Maybe his tongue's got like a hole in it. Maybe it's an interest. No, I don't know about that. Maybe we'll play with the tongue a little later. The advantage of playing with brushes like this with a brush tip is you can go as thin or thick as you want. It's all about your personal control. I personally have crap control, but there are artists out there that make this pen sing. I've had the pleasure of working with a few of them, and when you see them grab one of these pens, it's a treat. I apologize, I am not offering such treats, but I hope. Hey, thank you very much for the follow, Josephine. Welcome to the channel. I'm glad to have you here. Appreciate you guys being here with me today. This is just kind of a fun exploration stream where we're starting to set up the characters and some of the things that we plan on making for a future project involving walks that me and my son take on the daily. And you guys will see that stuff kind of happen over the course of the stream the next few days. If you are following my Instagram or social media, that's where you'll see that all kind of come to fruition. You know, it's funny. It's almost kind of got like a gorilla feel to it now. Gorilla with like a brontosaurus, like a long neck. It's kind of interesting. Now, keep in mind, guys, 90% of these we're not going to keep, but we might find elements from them that really strike us, right? I don't really love this now, but that's okay because I don't need to. I just need to push on these ideas and see where they take us. Really quick, I'm going to go ahead and just bring a little bit of shading into this guy just so I can kind of see how the light would hit him. It's almost a little too monkeyish, and that's not a bad thing. Like if I wanted to make a monkey, I'd be like, oh, this is pretty cool, but I'm not quite going that route right now. Just playing, just exploring, just seeing what kind of comes from. What I do like is I like all this texture on the neck. I think that's really nice. Okay, let's keep going. What were some other ones I did? Oh, I really like this guy. Okay, this was one I doodled, and I was like, I need to come back to this guy. Little tiny head. Okay, let's go with my green pencil this time. This is actually my usual process for working, by the way. I'm usually a kind of a green pencil to graphite kind of layering guy. Yeah, this is one of my favorites that I did. I was looking at pictures of like ostriches and just took the beak off. Ostriches are really fascinating creatures. If you ever have the time to go and look at pictures of them, do yourself a favor. That's another cool technique, by the way. If you are trying to use animals as reference, go and just find a picture of an animal and lop off a major feature, right? Take a picture of a dog and change the head of the dog to something like a bird. Extend the neck, things like that. Photo mashups are a fantastic way to explore shapes and forms because all we're doing really is just that. We're exploring shapes, we're exploring forms, and we're exploring different ways to communicate ideas. So you're saying love you. Okay. Thought my wife texted and I was just taking a read. Yeah, I'm feeling this guy already. So this is another method in which I'll work, where I'll go with my green pencil as my lay down my foundations. I'll go ahead and go with a blue pencil kind of lay in some general details. Unfortunately, I feel like this is not the best read on the stream, so I already feel like this guy is doing something really cool, so I'll go ahead and pen him up. We'll have him as one we can explore later. Maybe he's got like a little hangy ball. It's kind of fun. This is much more the tone I'm going for. It's kind of very fun, very light. It's not going to be a heavy story. It's going to be one-shots. Think of almost like Calvin and Hobbes is my goal. Not making a comic per se, but certainly exploring into short bits of content like that. But who knows? Maybe I'll meet a writer and they'll be like, I really love the story and I'd love to write it. And then I'll be like, sure, go ahead. And then maybe we can make a comic. You'll never see me try to write because I am shit at writing. Just not good at it. You know, and I hope you see that I'm just kind of drawing, right? At the end of the day, we're just doodling. This is what it means to just doodle. You just kind of draw and see what happens. And I'm not worrying. Hope I wrote to you. Check there. I'll take a look here, and I'll let you know if I got that. 1 second. I'll take a look. You sent it on Facebook, right? Not seeing it yet, but I'll keep my eyes out, Chector. If you want, I can just post my my Facebook link here, so you can get it from the stream. Let me go ahead and just post it. My link. Copy that. I'll post it to the YouTube chat here, because I know you're on YouTube. All right, and let's go ahead and make sure I. There you go, sir. Hope you got that. All right. Okay, pushing on. Let's keep moving. So we are going to go ahead and keep pushing on this guy. I've got about 45 minutes left, and it's time to take the kiddo out on a walk. So let's just keep plugging along. This is almost a little bit like a Who. So back to that conversation I was having about Cat in the Hat, and also The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. You know, that may be where I kind of go with the art style. I'm also really influenced by. I'm super influenced by Where the Wild Things Are. I've always had a love affair with that world. And let's go ahead and see. Hey, here we go. I love the character designs of Where the Wild Things Are. And I think that one of the things that they really captured early on is, if you go back and look at those old illustrations, make a shape around the heads, and those shapes, those initial silhouettes, really lend the credence to these characters. Another artist that I feel nails these shapes and these characters is the mangaka of One Piece, Odin. Or what the hell is his name? I can't believe I just blanked on the One Piece creator. Oda. I was right. Eiichiro Oda is one of the most amazing artists on the planet. I confidently stand behind that. If you go and you look at his art style, just go look up One Piece, the comic, the manga, or the anime. It is a style that is completely and totally all his own, and that man has done well over how many? 2,000 or 3,000 issues Like, no question, one of the most consistent and like vibrant artists out there. And his characters are just amazing. And in fact, one of the things that I love about his characters is his characters really lean into this kind of approach of creating these larger solo characters. Thank you so much for joining me at 38 Stage, and I appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic nap. I'll talk to you later. Guys, if you're just joining me, welcome to my chat. My name is Brandon Hamilton. I am a concept artist, streamer, stay-at-home dad, and illustrator. And we are just kind of working through some ideas for a project we'll be starting this week. This is just the initial sketches on that. Is that Nana? Did Nana say hi? Yeah, Nana was here, huh? Key to that is stay-at-home dad with this guy. Hi. And so we're just developing some really loose character development right now for a project that I'm moving ourselves into. The last couple weeks I've done a little more really intense, dark work that's a little more personal. Now we're going to start building on something that I'm hoping we can have grow. I like the idea of like leaning into like almost like a bulldog. Leave the pens there, please. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Yeah. Really? Oh. Hey, guess what? If you give Daddy 30 more minutes, we'll go on a walk. Does that sound good? Okay. Really? Yeah, those are scribbles. Yeah, that's Daddy's eraser. Yeah, that's Daddy's pens. Leave those there, please. Sprague. Hey, come on, leave those there, please. Also, guys, don't be hesitant if you have a piece and you're like, oh, I like the physicalness, but it's just not right. Add an accessory, like a top hat. Why not, right? What's the point of making something that... Nana said hi, Otto. Say hi, Nana.
Yeah.
Hi. Okay, so, stop. Go play with your toys, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and just develop this guy a little bit. You know, keep in mind when you're developing these characters, don't commit something that you've made as, oh, that's what it has to be. Because if you do that, what you're doing is you're essentially taking away your opportunities to really let the exploration continue. So this is almost like a thick neck of like an otter, but like the structure up here of almost like a lion, so to speak. It's like a dapper monster, you know? Everybody wants to be a little snazzy and throw a little top hat on, and before you know it, you're quite dapper. Let's go ahead and give him some little ears. He's got lots of this like side fur off the side of the face. I almost like the idea of the fur kind of encroaching and being long around the eyes. You often see animals with long fur that will stop kind of out here and they get short fur. But what if we let the long hair actually be a defining feature that comes right off the eyes? That's kind of interesting. Hey, Bubba. Whoa. Not with that right now. That isn't strange. Put this. Take it to your room if you want, baby. Okay? Take it. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. So for the moment, I'm just going to go ahead and mute my mic and keep drawing so you guys don't have to listen to the popcorn pour behind. All right, popcorn machine is no longer behind me. This was another approach. I figured this was a great way to, again, cycle through your pens, cycle through your tools, cycle through whatever you have on hand that you use to execute your ideas, and start with them in a different order. Play with them. Let them define the piece, because I actually feel like this character is probably one of the most successful, and I wouldn't have gotten here if I hadn't just grabbed a marker first and allowed that to be the basis for the creation. So keep that in mind. There's never a wrong or right way to approach this stuff at all. No matter, even if I'm saying like change it up. If you don't want to change it up, don't change it up. Go with whatever feels right. But I will tell you that you will get the best results from the unexpected. And what I mean by that is you can't tell, like when you're working in a medium, the medium's going to work in the way it's going to work, right? The paper has tooth. The pens will do what they're going to do. You just can't control them to some degree. And if you can embrace that bit, I wouldn't say randomness, but if you can embrace that journey and just let it kind of be, you'll come up with some really cool stuff. And it's just about giving yourself the room to explore that and play. So we're just pushing. I'm not worrying too much about exact lines. I'm not worrying too much. I'm just getting forms in. But as I'm resolving these forms, more and more is becoming apparent about this creature, right? You'll notice that there's no real clear nose. So maybe instead of a nose, I'll go ahead and have some dots on the side. And maybe when he's exasperated and he breathes out, air shoots out the sides. Could be kind of fun. Because let me tell you, if you're the parent of a toddler, you get exasperated. It's part of the gig. Well, that's not to say that, that's what it's all about. But, if you're a parent, you get what I'm talking about. If you're not a parent, you have a parent, ask them. They'll tell you. Being a parent is ridiculously rewarding and super awesome. But man, does it try your patience. And that is okay. That's what family's for, right? I kind of like this whole windswept thing. It's almost like feathers. Actually, what I should look at is I should look at birds that have like those like feather headdresses, where that's like a prominent part of their visual features. Those are always fun. I think our music stopped. So you'll notice all I'm doing is I'm kind of digging into those marker lines I made, right? I'm not worrying too much about how they'll look or what they'll look like, but I'm just kind of taking them in stride and letting those marker lines really become kind of a guiding principle for the way I'm allowing the pen to work. Let's make sure the music is still going here. Okay, back to this. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and put in about 10 more minutes, and then I'm going to go ahead and get this guy out for a walk while it's not raining, because in the Pacific Northwest in Portland, Oregon, when it's not raining, you've got a window. It doesn't mean it's done for the day. It means you have an opportunity. So we'll keep pushing. Let's do 2 more, and then I'm going to go ahead and call it for this part of the stream, and then we'll be back for the afternoon stream today, where we'll take some of these characters and really explore them. So let's go ahead and see here. We got. Let's just start here. I want to do something that's maybe like a little longer on the face, almost like a gator. Maybe something with a big underbite could be kind of fun. And then let's pull the head back. Oh, there we go. That's fun. Okay. That's just it, right? We're letting the marker play, and we're along for the ride. I kind of like the idea of this guy having a kind of a floppy ear to kind of break up the silhouette, and maybe the ear actually almost seems like it's like when you have your hair, you see somebody with like really long bangs, and it kind of like wraps in front of their eyes. So maybe we can have our eyes kind of. Maybe our eyes are actually back here. No, that doesn't make sense. Nature tends to put things where they're supposed to work. So if you're ever wondering why the ears are positioned where they're at, because nature said that's what you need to stay alive. I find that if you can kind of lean yourself into, oh, of course. If you can lean yourself into following what nature's already kind of decided works, you'll be in really good shape. Maybe we'll put them on like eye stalks. Eye stalks could be fun. And then maybe we'll have like kind of big circular teeth. About there. Let's go ahead and just create some of this under jaw. So when you're thinking about your jaw, take your hands, put them on the side of your mouth and push in, and then put your fingers up underneath your jawline. Okay? Think about, on you, we have face, cheek, skin that kind of puffs out. On somebody who's really fit, they have that really strong jaw. There's a reason I have a beard, because I don't have a strong jaw. But one of the things you can do is you can take in that structure and let that structure kind of come to life here. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to bring some of this neck detail, maybe a strong line for the spine, because the spine is subsided by muscles down the back. And then some strong structure here for the neck. Yeah, I'm feeling that. Okay, let's do something with this. Maybe we need to do something. Maybe the ears, do something like that. And then just for shits and giggles, let's just do something fun back here. Yeah, that's pretty fun. Okay. And now I'm just going to let the pen follow the contours I laid down, right? I'm not doing anything special. I'm just following the work that my marker put down. But I'm not stressed about trying to make it look in a certain method or way. We're just adding some little details and accommodating what we discovered. I kind of like the idea of this being like more like a bunny ear, so it's soft, kind of like that. For the most part, I think the creatures that I'll be doing will be softer creatures. Hey, Bubba. Nice. Hi, Spider-Man. You want to put your mask on? Yeah, let's fix your mask real quick. Good job. You did such a good job with that. Oh, and we got our Looney Tunes mask. Spider-Man, you're prepared. Good job. That guy right there. Inspiration. All right, hey Chector, have an amazing night, man. Thank you so much for being here. And again, reach out to me on Facebook. I can't wait to talk back and forth, and we'll get that piece figured out. Bye. Have a good day. Okay. Yeah. It's okay. Leave that there, please. When you're working with pen, just keep in mind for mouths, just give yourself some really defining shapes, because that will help kind of create a baseline for the rest of the piece. In this case, I got a couple of these teeth. I'm really not liking the eye stalks, but that's okay. I really like what's happening here with these details. This is kind of cool. So, all stuff that we can readdress and kind of figure out as we go. Some little nose business up here. Let's just do the eye stalks just for completionism. It's almost like a mix of like a bird, kind of a reptile, and then like a slug. You know, and when it comes to creature design, this is generally my approach, right? If I know what the tone of the piece is supposed to be, I understand what the intent of the characters are. In this case, it's a more positive story that's about my son and I that we'll be exploring. So I just need to keep it really light, keep it fun. Don't get too serious. Don't worry about how does this connect, how does that connect. What I am doing right now is just me adding these little lines. I'm adding essentially the dimensional flow, so that when I come back to this later on, I understand how I want light to play off this, right? That's a thing I'll often do, and the thing a lot of artists will often do is where you'll take and you'll kind of do some just really loose guidelines. Let me show you a cool trick. Those lines are going to disappear the moment I put a little bit of a hard line on this guy. But this is just a great method for being able to really start planning out the way that the forms are going to follow the face. All right, so let's go ahead and make sure we accommodate this hair bit back here. All right, let's go ahead and just throw in some darker shading on that. Like I said, guys, you just never know which characters are going to come to life, which ones are going to translate in a way that makes sense to you. And so all you have to do is just play, because there's just no need to be exact. We're just sketching. Sketching is fun, it's easy. Let's actually go with the brown pen. See if, yeah, that'll do. Another thing, if you're ever working on character art, things like this, spread your colors out. Go to, grab a pink or a blue or a green. Let those characters come to life in different colors and forms, and all of a sudden you'll see it mesh really well. Okay. I almost treat this like watercolor. And if you feel like the brown is like really darkening it up, it's okay, because we're going to take a really strong outline on this, and all of a sudden this guy's just going to make sense. It's just one of those things. We're just adding some context. Hey, monkey. Give it a push. Yeah. I know, we're going to want to walk in just a little while, okay? Hey, Sprague. Come on, bub. Leave those pens there, please. Good boy, thank you. Don't touch, please. Thank you. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we have decided ourselves. Hey, Hector, have a great day, man. Again, thank you for being here. Whoa. Shh. Enough to shouting, buddy. Okay. Last but not least, let's add some contouring. Let's add some hard lines. This is where all those little sketchy lines become much less prominent. We have our nostrils. And again, I'm not even like following the lines, right? I'm going way out of the lines. But by doing this kind of stuff, by staying free and staying loose, this guy has a few more dimensions to him that are going to show up just through the process of hanging it. When we want to take it to a pencil and we really start making it more child-friendly. Yeah, not bad. Alright, so let's kind of dig through some of the characters we've designed. We started here, started moving through, exploring forms, exploring shapes, exploring silhouettes, playing with hanging balls, playing with furry horned creatures. We got our monkey with the tongue, we got our cat with the top hat, we got our who, we got our feathered guppy creature, and then we got our kind of Star Wars-y creature with the ear flaps that go up on the head. So the reason that we did all this exploration, I mean, what is that? That is, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 designs in the span of like an hour and a half, right? Not bad. Things to keep in mind. We may not carry any of these to conclusion. We may not carry any of these to the full close of like becoming the character, but we're going to jump back on this in the afternoon stream. I'll be back today at 4 o'clock, and we'll just explore what we can do with these characters. I'll take them more to pencil. We'll go more towards the illustrative approach, and we'll get the illustration set up to eventually go into the digital painting. So, guys, if you've been here with me for the first part, hey, thank you very much, John. If you guys came in for the first part of the day, thank you so much. I'll be back at 4 o'clock today. I hope you have an amazing day, have an amazing afternoon, and if I don't see you again, I can't wait to have you back. Again, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, or ArtStation. And I can't wait to jump on the next stream. Alright guys, thank you so much. And for me and Otto, bye! Thanks guys.
Bye.
Talk to you later and have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Peace.